Real talk.
That's it!
Yun!
Medyo upgraded na tayo. Medyo revamp.
Tingnan mo naman yung set.
Happy birthday! Diba?
Quality ng video
Parang sa
and
face.
sound, di ba?
That's true, bro. No. So we're very happy to announce that, this is not discontinuing what we have been doing. This is leveling it up. So we now have a partnership between, of course, our Project Pilipinas. It's a project I'm very proud of because, I and Mark come from very different background. We don't necessarily share, all political beliefs, etc. But we have managed to work together for almost 2 years. Kaya napansin namin siguro panon na para mag next level. So this is in partnership with
Scott Media.
Right.
So, nandito tayo sa Scott Media.
Yeah.
Ang ganda nung set nila.
So thank you very much to our Friendster. But, just to be clear, as always, we keep our complete independence here, etc. And we hope to continue, as perfect as possible, the non-partisan, non-polarizing. Once in a while, there'll be Bardagulan. It's real talk.
Basta
after
para sa bayan.
Seriously, diba, Mark, I think we're here not only not to burn bridges, but to build bridges, no? And I'm very proud to know that we have followers from all across the world and different camps, right?
We're trying to raise the level of discussion.
Right.
Diba? On issues, on personality. Diba? Yung bardagulan pero with respect. And,
right. With heart. With the heart, yeah. Bardagulan with the heart. Now, as our kind of a first icebreaker episode, no? What we were thinking about was, let's get down to it. Yeah.
Ito na.
It's happening. Di ba? Yan ang pinagsasaban natin. That's it. Yeah.
We're still 5 years away.
Yes.
Pero nasisimula mo nang maramdaman yung init.
Yes.
So mga possible na magkakaharap-harap come 2028.
Ganun ka-advance mag-isip ang mga Pilipino, right? 2028, ngayon pa lang inisip natin. Now,
but obviously in politics, Mark, I mean, your expectation about future shapes what you do today. Kasi
Mark, feeling ko maging big time yan in 5 years. Mabait na ako sa kanya ngayon pa lang, di ba? Or vice versa, di ba? So, it matters what are our expectation about 2028. Because if you think a person, we're going to talk about that person soon, is a shoo-in already, siya na yung next, siya na, you're going to treat that person differently, right? You're going to treat that person as the next president. Not only as, the vice president in this matter, right?
Yung iba, sinasabi nga, tumataya na.
Tumataya, exact, as early as now, right?
As early as now.
Now, I'm proud to say that, we were not only brave enough, but I think we were analytically sharp enough to already see what is the emerging rivalry for the next 5 years, which is
SARA versus Rafi Tulfo.
And we're not endorsing anyone, just to be clear about that. I saw on Reddit, a lot of people are making threads about me. And so I see some people are misconstruing that if we mention this person, that means we're no, that's not the case. I'm proud to say we have good connection with all sides, And don't worry, I'll talk about also Senator Riza Ontiveros. A recent column of mine actually also focused on there. So we'll discuss about that. So first of all, let's look at it. So there's a survey. It's not Pulse Asia. It's not SWS, but it's an online survey there, one of the surveys out there that kind of confirms what we have been suspecting for quite some time, which is not only is Rafi Tulfo going to be the top guy as far as the Senate is concerned, but it looks like he's more or less considered as the alternative to SARA at this point in time, right? What do you want?
Kasi people are looking at Rafi like he's the only one na may chance against SARA. For example, if you hold elections this week, di ba? Sinong politician ang merong chance na to go to head with SARA? And sa ngayon, si Rafi Tulfo yung nakikita at lumalabas sa mga survey, lumalabas sa online, sa comment section. So, nasisimula mo nang maramdaman. So, nagre-react na din yung mga iba't ibang kampo. Merong mga mas nagiging ina-accept si Rafi, meron din namang tumitira na.
Right.
And meron din,
also preempting Tulfo being the big alternative in that
I would see DDS going after Rafi Tulfo na. Because yun nga, syempre, ang in-expect nga, si SARA would be for 2028. Ang isa sa mga pinaka-critical kay SARA ngayon, si Mon Tulfo.
Right.
Ni Rafi Tulfo. Na kung iisipin mo, when there's a Tulfo in Malacanang, yung mga magkakapatid ang mamamayagpag. So, yun ang...
Right. So, we have a new Tulfo in the Congress also who could be a some would consider shoo-in for the Senate. In few years' time, of course. I interviewed him in our different platform. I'm talking about newly minted Congressman Erwin Tulfo, who I think did a good job in DSWD. Congress, pero sa aking palagay, he did a good by the record of DSWD throughout the years, no?
And there are surveys na lumalabas senatorial, placing him at number 1.
Right.
Diba? The same spot din kay Rafi nung mga surveys before.
Which was, there was a wrinkle in that projection when Robin Padilla came in, except Robin Padilla is kind of not there, right? Parang, I think ang problema is Robin Padilla was so invested in the federalism, Tatay Digong era kind of zeitgeist that medyo nawala siya doon sa momentum. Yeah. And pansin ko bro, Tulfo, one reason why he's doing very well is because he is at least appearing to strike a more independent streak, on many issues. And there are times that, his criticism, I'm not talking about the final vote, like Maharlika, for instance, but his criticisms kind of echo what the opposition or Lenny supporters or Senator Riza Ontiveros would think, right? Like, my convergence yan. So, one thing I can think about is yung criticism niya, for instance, dun sa ang laki ng share ng Chinese state-owned company dun sa National Grid, no? And these were concerns that not first raised by Tulfo, it was raised first by Riza, but you could see that Tulfo will build on that. But the difference is because he's not opposition and he's kind of like the new big star, he has the ear of the president. And he has the ear of the president. And you could see the Marcos Jr. response to that. So like parang similar views sometimes, independent to a certain degree, but also has the ear of the president. So like, it ticks all the boxes, no? And then let's be honest, we have a macho culture, unfortunately, but it benefits the Tulfos because, there's this macho culture, etc. So while, you tell me, bro, mukhang Sara Duterte is kind of recalibrating her media strategy, right? She's not like her dad a little bit, and then like Tulfo is getting all the media,
So sa first year, Sara was talagang,
disengaged
sa media. Walang vloggers, walang, very limited sa simula. And it makes sense then kasi less talk, less mistake. She is still the favorite. But I don't know kasi, Tatay Digong.
Ang dami mistake, pero ang dami rin points. You know what I'm saying? Like,
pero
iba. You're saying he's Digong is a singular phenomenon. For good or bad, depending on how you look at it.
So si Sara hindi masyadong wala masyadong ginagawang publicity. Every Senate hearing, pouncing on ako, personally, ang nagustuhan ko kay Rafi Tulfo, dahil dun sa show niya, I've always said this, meron siyang pulso ng masa. So, alam niya yung problema ng security guard, alam niya OFW, delayed sahod,
correct,
away sa barangay. So, yun ang advantage ni Rafi Tulfo talaga. Pero the thing is talaga, pagdating kay Sara, kaya siya ganun ka-confident. She knows na she has Vismin on her pocket.
Right.
Unless you can break her hold sa Vismin.
But that's the thing, diba? So, surveys suggest it's kind of looking like 35-40 to 30 or 30. Parang, it looks like the UniTeam essentially split between the two, right? Like, remember, 60-65 yung share ni SARA and BBM. Obviously, the kakamping camps will say, no, we don't believe those. But anyway, if you take the official numbers, it looks like Tulfo gets close to half of that, no? And my suspicion is the way it's looking is it's this more the BBM votes that is going to go to Tulfo, right? I mean, there's kind of like and some people from the other camps are more comfortable with Tulfo as an alternative to SARA. So, kasi may room pa si Tulfo eh. My sense is he can bring it to 40, even can bring it to 50. It depends eh. Hindi naman final. I think his range is something between 20 to 50. He can play that range, no? And Sarah's range could be also similar.
Same then.
And if both keep it at the minimum level of 25-30, then there's room for a third candidate or so to come in. And that's why I want to talk about Riza very shortly. Because as I said, this is a non-partisan, objective, but real talk conversation. But going back to this, so you're saying two leading candidates so far, seemingly at least, because we still need to see other surveys.
It's too early. So maraming pang lalabas dyan.
But I think our hunch is it makes sense, right? Our idea is that the two have completely different media strategy. One is full saturation. One is tactical engagement, but minimal, it's like exposure as much as possible. And each of them are keeping strong numbers, right? I think SARA is still very popular if you look at the, more known survey agencies out there. And in the case of TULFO, he didn't top the Senate race. I think he was outmaneuvered. Number 3 lang yata siya, di ba? Number 3 lang yata siya. So,
number 2.
2 or something. Okay. But everyone's expecting number 1. So, and then now, he's by far, like, he's just, the whole Senate thing is not like a Rafi show. It's like an extension of that.
He is quietly expanding.
Yeah.
Okay? For example, yung wife niya is taga Isabela.
Right.
So, in Region 2, ang dami nilang activities doon.
Yeah.
Yung son niya is a congressman now sa Batasan sa Quezon City. So, meron sa
NCR.
Metro Manila. Tapos yung mga kakampi nila sa ACT-CIS, yung mga congressman ngayon sa Benguet.
Right, Cordillera region. Exactly.
Tapos ang mga TULFOs is from Zamboanga.
Right.
They have
and they also have an Ilocano background. Erwin told me, right? And not to mention Japanese background. Like, the patapang, Yeah, so they have the Visayas background. They also have the Ilocano background. They have the NCR very strong, right? So
NCR very strong.
So they're competitive, right? In theory, they could be very, very...
He's building a network na, and parang it's unbelievable to see na TULFO is now a major political.
But is it? Yeah, like, I had discussion with our good friend si Leloy Claudio, right? And his point is, noon pa lang, si Idol lang, even before Tatay Digong, let's be honest, we knew TULFOs more better than Tatay Digong. I think Tatay Digong, when he ran, just made the TULFOs realize, like, wait lang, I think we can go for gold, right? Kasi there's an openness to this. Bakit kami dito sa media lang, when we can go all the way for governance, right? So my sense is, Rodrigo Duterte opened the space for this kind of a
strong
match.
Man.
Exactly, strong man.
Nahilig tayo sa mga strong man, And yun ang TULFO. That's the TULFO brand.
That's the TULFO brand.
So, itong si Rafi ang pinaka, kumbaga palatable to different kinds of people.
He seems to be the more, I don't want to use the word sophisticated because Erwin also has his own points. Like, he looks like the more median-friendly, right? So. Like, he ticks all the boxes. And my reading of Rafi TULFO, based on conversation with people from very different sides, different sides, not necessarily, was he's very dynamic. Like, kunyari, pag tayong kausap niya, he can speak in our language. Pag kausap niya si ganito, parang nag-iiba siya eh. No? But not in a, but in a way that it comes off authentic and genuine because he's the dynamic personality, right? Which is very interesting thing. But obviously, the counter-attack against TULFO was the TULFO brand of justice, no? Trial by publicity, etc. And we see some bloggers, you know better than me, like...
Tony Libayan. Yeah.
The bloggers, let's call it, let's say, their bloggers are already taking on the TULFO, right? Every time I type something TULFO on Twitter and it almost always gets close to 1 million views, I always see a certain person coming immediately and talking about the TULFO brand of justice, and it has its share of critics. I'm not necessarily a fan of a certain approach that the TULFOs have had, but at the same time, I cannot deny that TULFO had very interesting interventions on the issue of land grabbing and all, on issue of NGCP, and even on Maharlika, even though he voted in favor of Maharlika eventually, he made it expressly clear there's no way that we're going to accept a Maharlika fund that allows for pension funds to be gambled, right? So, which is good. Now, we'll go to Riza shortly because she went all the way no. What are the scenarios you're looking at? Like, different scenarios coming out in the coming years. Like, could there be a threat to, like, what are the big no's na dapat hindi gagawin ni TULFO or something like that? Like, if you were to advise him.
Si TULFO, he'll just do his thing eh. This ball game is nakadepende kay
SARA ngayon.
And what will happen sa UniTeam, yung marriage ng UniTeam.
Right.
I think yun ang number one factor above everything else.
Or whatever is left of UniTeam.
Then, UniTeam is still strong pa rin.
Is it?
Oo naman. Merong mga maingay, merong mga but the bulk of the people, there are a few na maingay, pero yung bulk, kasi as long as SARA is okay with BBM, hindi sila mag-ano eh.
No, because Marcos is not gonna fight Sarah anytime, anyway. I don't think ever, because it's just not who Marcos Jr. is.
Doon nga papasok.
And Sarah is smart. She's not gonna fight the president. Why should he do that? So
Yeah, yun nga, she's going to wait her turn, di ba? Some others want na tanggalin si BBM, si Sarah kaagad, pero Sarah is mukhang loyal so far. Hanggat okay yung friendship ng dalawa, the UniTeam is solid pa rin.
So you're saying, sorry for cutting you. I mean, I see what you're saying. Like, one reading would be, and this is what they always say, is like, no, wala namang hidwan, wala namang problema, etc. We're solid. Sarah says good things about Marcos. Marcos says good things about Sarah. But what about the Arroyo episode? Don't you think that says something? That
Yun lang,
realignments are happening
yung,
inside?
yung parang wild card dito.
Linchpin siya, di ba?
Oo. And then that wild card, parang bongo ni PRRD is Martin Romualdez. Kasi ang
the other person we have
pinanungutan
to talk
ngayon,
about,
si Martin Romualdez, also wants to be president sa 2028. And if you're BBM, if
You're
you're
around for a higher office.
You know, could be also VP. I mean, I don't know.
Oh, it could be VP. And of course, ano naman yan eh. Siyempre, you prepare for president, pwede kang bumaba.
Right.
baka senator nga, hindi pa siya manalo sa ngayon eh. Pero, syempre, kung ikaw si BBM, kung ikaw si, you're the first family,
Right.
you would prefer yung cousin ko yung pumalit sa akin. Pero, yun ang drama dyan.
I mean, he's the right man of the president in many ways, right?
Oh.
I mean, he's literally on the right side of the president during all of this
So, ang
global
question
travels,
dyan, will
etc.
PBBM do kung ano yung ginawa ni PRRD na parang si Bongo yung iangat
Right.
instead of Sara. Nakita naman natin yung nangyari doon. So, or will just PBBM go with the flow? O si Sara so we're giving way to you. So,
Just
ikaw,
not to create trouble later on, yeah.
Oo. So,
But in the meantime, TULFO and BBM are building a very strong dynamic, right?
Yun, and of course-
very comfy, they work very, the respect is there, you can see it's in the air. But hindi naman yung tipong ganon si TULFO kay Marcos, hindi rin. He has this dignity, he has this distance, etc.
yeah, and of course, si Erwin is talagang very close kay BBM. Kaya nga, he got
Right.
appointed to ano.
Correct.
So, yun pa yung factor na yun eh. So,
The ties that bind. Yun nga eh, like it's like yun nga eh, like if TULFO runs and SARA runs in 2028, which is not impossible, barring, you know, crazy situations. I mean, if you're BBM, probably you'll just, unless there's a complete fight with SARA, which I also doubt because I think SARA knows how, you know, BBM will just say I'm neutral, right? So it will go down.
If kung yun dalawa lang ang choice, he'll go with Sara, of course.
You think?
Oh, naman, no, naman.
Even if TULFO might have really good chance or ganun.
Loyalty eh. I don't see Sara's numbers going down kung solid
Loyalty
yung
in
dalawa.
politics? Philippine politics? Are you?
Hindi, it's beneficial for both of them eh. Kasi the only way nga that you beat either one is if magkahiwalay sila. Ganun yung assessment ko. So, maraming pwedeng mangyari. Marami. And of course, nakadepende din yan kung anong direksyon ang tatahakin ng opposition from now up to 2028. Kung anong gagawin nila sa midterms. Will they consolidate or will they just support TULFO? Or will they try to field Risa or Lenny? Kasi if they go all in on TULFO, medyo may
Since it's
numbers din
2025 pa lang, magkakaalaman na. Because, I mean, the reality is, SARS doing her job well in terms of, you know, making sure walang awa, etc., that she doesn't become an irrelevant vice president. So, but there are some policy differences, right? Marcos clearly is way more comfortable with US and way less comfortable with China, which is something that I think is quite different, not only from the father, but probably the third, right? The other one is the
Yun
whole...
ang magiging problema.
The other one is this whole LCAC, what is it, the NTF?
Ano, but they're aligned na there. Kaya
I mean-
he assigned Sara as vice co-chair.
To maybe be nice.
Yun nga. So,
I gave DND to Gibo.
Oh.
By the way, we called it in one of our episodes before. We said Gibo will most likely be the next DND. General Galvez will most likely just be an interim one, so it turned out correctly. As of this recording, we're just waiting if Maros is still in the mix. But I got on the record. I got on the record. Edwin Lasherda during our interview we had with CNN Philippines. He said that it looks like Maros is open to it.
Wow.
So this is on the record. I'm not inventing it. Watching CNN Philippines interview namin with Pia Ontiveros the other week. I was there. Joining from Palawan. And I brought it up openly, Mar, and, you know, Edwin Lasherda knows a thing or two about Mar and all, being like a top guy during that Aquino administration. He said, well, looks like Mar is open. So even if Mar doesn't get it, the fact that there is that openness and all just tells you how interesting the realignment is. The other big question is, since this is real talk, some people are saying, wait, nasaan si Trillanes? Parang, we're not hearing any criticisms on Maharlika or
I
anything
said
like
this in my vlog kasi di ba he appeared dun kay Christian Esguerra na
that.
podcast.
Natin, exactly.
I think he wants to jump ship eh. Yun ang akin
He wants or like it's done na or something.
Hindi, parang he's just waiting what will happen kay De Lima eh. Siguro yun ang isang,
right.
yun
like,
ang isang important for
which
him
is very imminent, right? Like there's a feeling that it's almost inevitable that Senator De Lima will have her moment of justice, right?
The keyword na parati niya sinasabi is realignment eh. Sa parati niya tapos tinatanong siya ni Christian about the future of the opposition. Parang hindi niya masagot eh. Kasi parang hindi na siya magtatagal sa opposition.
Tapos na yan. Doon na tayo sa kabila. May usapan na.
Pero the thing is, tatalon siya kay Marcos, pero ang kalaban niya is DDS. Yun yung realignment.
Kasi it's the China-US thing na eh. Diba? It's a new Cold War. It's a new Cold War fault line. So it looks like, yan ang sense ko yung mga dating military na ayaw kay Digong, biglang okay kay BBM ng super okay. And it's like, oh, so it's really a US-China thing. It's not about liberalism, human rights, EJK, whatever. Like, that's the sense I have. Now,
yun ang malaking factor kay Sara if she will go the other way. Parang like her dad na naman.
Yeah, so far she didn't, right? So in fairness sa kanya, I mean, we had heard that her Mandarin greetings to, let's not go there. But I don't know if we'll have a new version of that this year. But so far, in fairness kay Sara, I think she's very good also in the optics of not coming off as being the voice of the pro-China people who are not happy with the direction of where Marcos Jr. is going. Although my contention is Marcos Jr. is not also fully aligning with DS. He's keeping also his options open enough. Not fully, but open enough because he's still waiting what China can offer us, which I think is a smart strategy, etc. But, I was thinking like, let's say Martin becomes VP of TULFO, then, that probably seals the deal, right? Then BBM...
They're going against Sara. Yun nga. Kaya hindi natin alam kasi we don't know how the relationship will hold eh.
Right.
Kasi sa ngayon, okay sila, but 5 years is a long time. And maraming tao...
But that's the point, bro. 2025 pa lang, feeling ko magkakalaman na eh.
Makikita na natin
kasi
with the senatorial slate.
Siya, diba? I mean, papatakbo daw niya yung mga bata niya sa PDP laban, whatever. Whoever is
that's
left.
That's one question. Will the PDP laban join the admin slate of BBM? That's one question. Yeah?
And that's important because when Arroyo was demoted from senior to one of the many deputies, yung umakyat ay taga PDP laban from my understanding. So like, is there a second realignment happening on the other side? It's like multi realignment, right? Parang polycentric circulation reconfiguration happening there. But again, we're not here promoting just Sara and TULFO because we want to be as fair as possible. Let's talk about Riza.
Okay.
Be honest again about this. My sense is, first of all, I think Riza is really the genuine opposition out there. Consistently, she's the no vote, literally singular no vote. Maharlika, Regional Comprehensive Economic Partnership, etc. But there are a number of things I'm noticing. First of all, she's popping up in the surveys, like as the third, fourth option or something like that. She's not totally irrelevant. She's kind of in the conversation. Probably she might even score better than Lenny if Lenny wants to run, right? So that's one. But so there are two things I noticed. You tell me what's your take now. One is, parang mainstream media is not picking her up as much. Like for instance, a few weeks ago she was in Taiwan with Tsai Ing-wen, president of Taiwan, who's, a country is in the middle of all the conversation nowadays. And like parang, I only saw like 2 or 3 things popping up in my feeds. And like, this should be uninteresting, right? President of Taiwan, Philippine senator, women power. It ticks all the boxes, right? Charismatic leaders. Not so much. And then her opposition to RCEP, this is interesting. The one that actually na-cover ng marami is si Aimee, who actually abstained. Because sabi niya, hindi ako sigurado kung maganda epekto ito sa mga magsasaka, sana si brother ko ganyan. Pero she actually abstained, she was not no. The no vote was from Riza Ontiveros.
Aimee got the bigger news.
But Aimee was the one being presented as the outlier. I was like, what? Okay, I know it's the sibling thing, it's a good drama point, but come on, Riza was the one who made the strong argument against RCEP consistently. And on Maharlika Fund, she's the only one who went no and said, I'm still gonna wait for the IRR, implementing rules and regulation, hindi pa benta sa akin. So, even yung safeguards ni TULFO ay hindi benta sa kanya.
Even sa Pimentel, hindi nagsipot.
Oh, pero yun nga, like, say no, di ba? Wag yung ganun na, so parang, you know what I'm gonna say, right? So, then say no, stand by your word, wag yung pa-absent bigla.
Pinaka-point na si Riza is not being covered enough by the media.
Mainstream. But that brings me to my second problem, and I'm sure a lot of kakamping people are gonna hate me again. And not kakamping, actually, dilawan people. I'm gonna say it, real talk. No, I don't know what's Lenny's plan. You know, like, our advice to Lenny was, run for Senate, mukhang mas competitive ka for that, rather than governor, mas mahirapan ka sa Bicol. Mas mahirapan yung GO.
Pero ako, if you ask me, I think 100% she will run for Senate eh. Kung ako ang mag-ano
And she has a good chance of being top 5. Not only winning, but top 5.
And among all the opposition, siya ang pinaka-best na chance talaga.
Yeah, win
and
top 5.
If she wins at 2025, she has nothing to lose at 2028.
And she's in a safe zone to consider options, right? But my sense is I'm hearing a lot of people in her camp saying that, you know, online you can see that, no, Lenny should run for LGU, show a good example for governor, executive power, kasi Senate, limitadong pwede
Naga
magawin.
is too small, hindi masyado napapansin.
At saka may kalaban mo, di ba? I mean,
pero they dominate sa Kamsur, pero Naga, they dominate. Her family, her group dominates that. So, easy win for Lenny doon. Pero, sa Senate, para mas maging...
It makes sense. It makes more sense. But my point is, while we're not sure what's Lenny's plan, Riza is there as the senator and as the only national elected genuine opposition, to be honest about this, right? Why is she also not getting as much support? Like, I noticed how many times I wrote about something about Riza. I wrote many times about, like, sinong sa tingin yung pinaka-progressive leader? Vico, Riza, ganon. O Vico, they try to cancel him. The same way that some fools there try to cancel me. Like, are you kidding me? Like, you know we did. No, but Riza, parang, wala masyadong response, wala masyadong traction support. Like, I post something about Lenny, immediately, bro, grabbing reaction on Twitter to which is like more, let's be honest, it's more leaning towards the left or liberal side than the other side. But even on YouTube, napansin ko, if I put Riza video versus Lenny video, the Lenny one gets a lot of traction. The Riza one is not getting as much. And I don't understand it because Riza she has the package, right? She's articulate, she has conviction, she's telegenic. Yeah. I mean, I don't understand, bro. I mean, I just don't get it. Maybe because she's progressive?
People are still waiting for Lenny. But unless Lenny 100% gives way, dun palang iano si
So,
Riza.
Yun nga ang point kayo na parang nakahang in the air yung situation Riza, but shouldn't Riza build the momentum na now?
Or parang si Riza, wala din naman masyadong ginagawang mga gimmicks. Kasi usually, it's not enough na you do your work. Kailangan may halong branding, may halong gimmick.
But I disagree with that. I think she's doing that. Like the thing about Taiwan and all, isn't that supposed... Pero hindi siya pinapansin eh. Hindi siya pinapansin. Hindi siya pinapansin.
She should excite her base first siguro, no?
I mean, how crazy she's the only one who said no on, she said only, like, what else should she do? I mean, I don't get it, bro. I really don't understand.
Maybe the people on the pink side should be more louder in supporting Riza. And kahit si Pimentel doon, kasi dalawa na lang nga yan, hindi nyo pa susuportahan, di ba?
Kasi Lenny, di ba, passed the baton. I mean, so isn't that supposed to be, when you pass the baton, my supporters now will be behind you? I mean, that's the point, right? I mean, I don't get it.
She only passed it through through words lang eh. Pero her action,
where's the follow through? Exactly. Like, how many times have you seen Lenny saying all out support to Riza recently and all? Have you seen anything? Because maybe I'm not on social media enough because I do also mainstream. You tell me.
And all I see, Museo ng Pag-asa, yung libro about the campaign.
Puro Lenny eh.
Puro everything pink. Yun nga, wala.
Riza yung nanalo eh.
But it's non-transferable. Yung excitement from the pink movement,
but how can you say it's non-transferable if you haven't even tried?
No one is transferring eh.
No one is trying. That's my sense. I don't think...
Lisa wearing pink, hindi din naman. Diba? No, one day.
No, she wore pink that day, diba? When they were like passing the baton, naka-white si Lenny.
One day. Pero I mean, if you want to lead the pink move...
Okay, that's an interesting observation.
I'm telling, Lenny will run for Senate. Lenny is still the leader of the opposition. Kaya,
kaya labang situation.
That's my opinion. That's my...
Kasi mas split yan between Lenny and Riza. Like, for me, ganito. I think the best case scenario for the opposition is this. TULFO runs, SARA runs, they split that 60%, keep the room open for another person to come in. Right? Like, even with 25-30%, you'll be competitive in a field that there's both SARA and TULFO. May chance. Maybe not to win, but at least close second.
May laban, no?
May laban eh. So, sasabihin na naman si Hey Darren demanding, Hey Darren ganito. Like, behind the scenes, I'm talking to everyone, right? Everyone, I'm talking to all sides, okay? And that's because I value communication. That's because they know I have no political party of my own. Who knows about ambitions in the future, but not for now. So I'm open. And behind the scenes, I sense that like maybe there are people who are not happy saying Richard is too demanding, whatever. Like, but come on, guys. I mean, kasi Rafi's already, the Rafi high-speed train is just gaining momentum. The solid warship of SARA is just putting on more weapons and getting ready, right? So, I don't know. I mean, what's up, guys?
Sa akin, ito. Siguro, for the pink and opposition, I think they should start focusing na on 2025. I think yun ang magandang ano. So, more or less, para to build momentum,
then it's Lenny then. Huh? Then there should be Lenny, di ba? Parang ganun na. Kasi Lenny will run for Senate.
And others then.
Okay, so who else do you have in mind?
Sa opposition.
You were suggesting that maybe opposition should focus like on few, three, right?
Like, I'm saying 3 senatorial balls, then everyone else sa party list nyo ilagay.
Or I mean, you can have a slate but really have free focus. Something like that.
Sa akin,
okay, sige mo yan. Tatlong, okay, Lenny obviously.
Lenny, Bam, and Francis.
Oh yeah.
Pinaka-winnable mo.
Of course, yeah. Of course, okay.
Or maybe Drilon kung babalik siya.
And Jokno maybe? 5?
Ayun nga, si Jokno, baka I think it's better kung mag-party list muna eh.
At least, congressman muna siya.
Oh, we need him sa ano eh.
For justice, for rule of law. Okay, that's an interesting way of looking at it. So, I mean, of course, you should run again for Senate in my opinion. But
diba,
yeah.
Ilan ang talagang you would say na opposition sa Kongreso? 6? Diba? Parang hindi proportion sa dami ng bumoto.
Yeah, it doesn't make sense. Yeah. Diba? Yeah, exactly. That's a very good point. Like, Lenny gets 25% to 30%, let's say, that's our range. And then in Congress, like, 5%. Like,
ito. Kaya ako din sinabing 2025. If you are looking for Risa to parang uminit at sumipa, maybe they should try kung ano gagawin nila sa akbayan first.
Right.
Diba?
Right.
Maybe to get back sa Congress, if they can get 2 seats, that's because of Risa. Then,
that's a good point with akbayan also.
Kasi that's how we see kay TULFO eh. That TULFO always gets 3 seats. Sila parating number. Yun yung TULFO magic. Yeah. So, tingnan natin.
Maybe Risa can,
Maybe
I know what you're saying.
Para we can see yung Risa magic if there is.
I mean, the thing with Risa is, with all the issues about, yung kabila, daming pera, daming disinformation, but she still won. She got re-election, and because she did many things right, among them is marami siyang regional level advertisements, lalo sa Visayas region, etc. So, may mga gandang campaign strategies si Risa na pwede siguro ulitin ng kabila. Kasi there are folks out there who are still in this denial, voter blaming mode. It's like, maybe you want to learn something from Risa. But tell me this, bro. Tell me this. Maybe because Risa is really progressive and that is maybe not something that more centrist liberals are happy with.
If you could brand it in a way na magigets ng masa, pwede.
Kasi activista si Risa before, di ba?
Pwede. Yeah. Don't brand it that way. So, mas palatable sa masa. Kaya eh. Kasi...
No, she won eh. So, palatable siya. And I'm talking about some yellows not fully supporting her the way they should, no? I mean, I'm talking about them. Yeah, she can win. I mean, she got now 16 million votes. So, obviously, that's a massive...
Hindi, baka they see her nga as
Yun nga, that's my point. There's,
Hindi, they will support her naman kung wala iba eh.
Right.
So, kumbaga, sure vote na yun kay Risa eh. Kasi kung wala namang ibang tumakbo, si Risa yung So,
yun na yun, yeah.
So, why on that? Why work on that, diba? So, work on Akbayan, grow Akbayan first.
That's a good point, yeah.
Tingnan natin gaano lalaki. And sa akin, pink movement, party list din, if you could get 2 man who would vote no dun sa mga ayaw nyong bills, that would be a big help sa Congress. Yeah. That could be a good starting point to challenge either Rafi or SARA sa 2028.
Yeah.
Might be a good 3-way race.
Right. I think we're way over time or something, but I just want to add some final point here. On one hand, I still stand by my argument. I know many people try to portray me as like, credit grabber. No, my point is I still stand by the argument. And actually, I'm not even the first one who thought about it. It's Enrico, a good friend, which is maybe Angat Buhay could be also kind of hindi naman pang sabong sa Maharlika Fund, but kind of like a mitochondria of a run, right? I mean,
Party list din. Doon na muna sila. Hindi nila
pero nag-senador na siya eh.
It was Pinoy's
Parang
time.
de-demote siya.
Pinoy's time. So,
Saan nakiride lang, gano'n?
iba
You think
advantage.
she cannot get like a sympathy vote at least or something, if not on her merits? Mahirap. No?
I suggest ko pa. Hindi, it would be a siksik eh. Ang daming tumatakbo.
So what you're saying is, while things are not too crazy tatay level, you know, be realistic, build here. Lenny and all there, you here, you know. And then,
Siguro,
and in 2028, maybe things will be interesting.
Siguro ako ang final word ko lang. Kasi since you're saying, Angat Buhay Fund, develop Bico Sotos, local, matuto din yung pinks na i-highlight yung mga success ng mga pink mayors. For example,
Exactly.
Naga and Iloilo.
Exactly.
Iloilo is very beautiful.
Iloilo, yeah.
You have a pink mayor there. Bakit
Maybe
hindi i-highlight yung
let's
mga
have a real talk in Iloilo soon. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's another beautiful place to all our followers.
I love what the mayor is doing there.
Amazing.
And he is solid.
He's progressive.
Drilon,
Progressive. Exactly.
Diba? So, start there. Then,
That's an interesting one. On that note, wow. I'm very glad. Very first episode of our Real Talk, which is really a product of a partnership between Project Pilipinas and
Scott Media.
So this is what we're doing. And as I said, we're just going to continue what we have been doing for the past 2 years. Hopefully even better, more bonga. And please continue to support us, folks, for more of this Real Talk. And don't worry, soon you'll have more fuego here, fuego there. Siguro yung mukha natin, for now. So thank you very much, bro. I really appreciate that. I enjoy it. Parang Director Scott tayo dito. I love this. Maraming salamat, guys. And talk to you soon.
Okay.
Real Talk